Content creators are making huge mistakes when it comes to what they're doing online. And I want to tell you the 5 things that I think that every content creator should be doing that they're probably not doing. In this video, I'm going to give you all the game as an entrepreneur and as a business owner. So I'm Keenya Kelly, and I've been creating content online for the last 10 years, like almost 10 years. And I've actually been quote unquote an influencer over the last 5 years. And some of the things that I am seeing over and over again are some of the huge mistakes that content creators are making, but I don't want you to make them. So if you're making them right now, then you can make some changes. But if you're just now getting started into content creation and making money as a content creator, then you're going to want to make sure you stick around all the way to the end, because I'm going to tell you exactly what it is that you should be doing if you're not doing it. So one of the things to know about content creation is there's so many different ways to make money. There's so many, okay? Obviously, you can create content on YouTube. You can get paid through views, you get paid through ads and affiliates. You can work with brands. You can do TikTok shop. You can do live stream. There's so many different things you can do to make money, okay? Now, it is important that when you're first starting out as a content creator, you can't focus on all of them. You just cannot, okay? You can try, but you can't focus on all of them because you've got to go into a lane and get good at it, and then you can add something else, okay? So that's not one of the mistakes, but what I'm basically saying to you is that as you listen to me and the rest of this episode, I want you to know, okay, how am I gonna make money, all right? And don't try to do everything, because you won't do anything well trying to do everything. Okay. So the first mistake that I see that content creators are making is that they're not choosing a niche. Now, I know that oftentimes we hear people say, you don't need a niche, you need a niche. You don't need a niche, you need a niche. Okay, let's just talk about this. Okay, so what is a niche? Niche. What is that? That's basically where here is my thing, right? For example, this right here is an Apple phone. Apple is a niche, right? It is mobile devices and things that go along with mobile devices or computers, things of that nature, okay? Apple is not currently creating vitamins, okay? These are my vitamins. Apple is not currently creating vitamins. They have chosen a niche, electronics, okay? Now, in electronics, it allows them to do lots of different things. They can do cameras, they can do this, they can do that in electronics, but it is a niche, okay? So we know if we go to Apple that we're gonna be able to get things through electronics, that we're not gonna go to the Apple store and be able to pick up vitamin C, okay? Now, as it pertains to you as a content creator, it is important for you to choose a niche. And one of the reasons is because you have an audience, okay? And an audience of people is going to subscribe to a person when they know what to expect from that person, okay? So people are gonna subscribe to you, whether it's on YouTube or other platforms, because they know what to expect from you, okay? When you're doing this today and this today and this today, the audience doesn't know what to do with you, so they're not gonna follow you or be consistently there consuming your content. Also, when you don't choose a niche, it's hard to figure out how you're gonna make your money, right? If you're gonna do brand deals or things like that, you've got to make sure you're in some type of vertical so that they know what's going on with you, okay? So like my main account here, this is where I'm talking about social media, making money online. So when people come to this account, they know that I'm going to teach them social media and how to make money online. I have a newer account on TikTok where I'm talking about beauty and life over 40, menopause, weight loss, fitness, and all that. And that's specifically what I'm talking about, lifestyle for Keenya Kelly over 44. And so all the brands that are reaching out to me are in the lifestyle side of things, okay? So they're not reaching out to me with softwares and social media platforms and all that. It's all the lifestyle stuff because they can see what my content is about. So the first mistake is not choosing a niche. The second mistake that I see creators making is not having multiple streams of income. Now, I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but let me just keep talking. So not having multiple ways that you're going to make money. Let me explain. So I mentioned earlier that there's a lot of different ways you can get paid, right? But when you're first starting out, you want to focus on 2, maybe 3, not 4, not 5, 2, maybe 3. What does that mean? Okay, for example, let's just say you start a YouTube channel. You know it's going to take you 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers in order to get monetized on YouTube, right? Well, before you get those watch hours, what are other ways you can get paid? You can be an Amazon affiliate, okay? You can have products where you're talking about with Amazon, okay? And you can get paid that way. You can do things on TikTok or TikTok shop where you can promote other people's products through TikTok Shop. You can use something like Linktree or Stan Store, where you can have a digital download, a product or whatever in the store where you can be selling these products to people, right? Whatever those things are, okay? So before the platforms start to pay you, you can go ahead and monetize yourself, okay? And the thing about it is that a lot of us make the mistakes of not thinking about it in advance. Now, I am one of those people that made the mistake. I've been doing what I've been doing for 10 years, but it wasn't until the last 2 to 3 years that I started becoming an affiliate, where I promote different products to people that I use through my link, and people pay for them. People subscribe to them, right? Like, for example, I use CapCut to edit. And so in my courses, I'm always talking about CapCut. And if people want to upgrade to CapCut, I say, hey, here's my affiliate link. I maybe get $1 or whatever from it, but it's still, I thank you for my $1. You know what I'm saying? And so I just started doing that as of late, like the last 2 years. But if I would have been doing that for 10 years, imagine the kind of money I would be bringing in from everybody that I've been promoting all these different softwares to, but wasn't really focused on it as an affiliate. So nowadays I get paid from Opus, I get paid from Repurpose.io, CapCut, and a bunch of other places, because if I'm going to talk about a software, I'm going to give people my affiliate link. Okay. So if you want to make money, you've got to decide how you're going to make money. And many creators don't really focus on that, right? You've got to think about the multiple streams. Not to mention, I see many creators just focusing on just trying to get brand deals, and that's great and all, but guess what? Like, you're not going to get a brand deal every single day until you're somebody big and you got this agent who's constantly going out and getting deals for you. That's just not going to happen. And so until you have all that coming in, that's going to come. You've got to have the other stream that's going to continue to pay you. The third mistake that I see creators making is not hiring an editor. Now, this is a huge mistake that I made for the longest time. Okay. Now, here on my YouTube channel, I don't have an editor, but now we have an editor for my shorts, all of my shorts videos. Why is that? Now, why did I make that mistake? I made that mistake because I felt like that I didn't need an editor to help me grow or to help me make money, which is true. I made a significant amount of money without an editor. But what I learned the hard way is that I could have made more money and had more time and more freedom if I just paid somebody else an hourly wage to edit those videos. So instead of me editing them, I could have given them to somebody else, right? To help make me money faster and easier, especially if you're doing some other things that make you money. And so one of the things that I think that every creator should do is hiring an editor. So just today, we were interviewing a ton of people about being editors with us. And one of the person, they're going to be solely focused on graphics and editing. That's it. Graphics and editing is all that person's going to be doing. Why? Because I want to pump out more content as a content creator, but I want my team to be responsible. I want them to come to the strategies through me and with them. I want to create the videos and I want to give it to them and they edit. And then I focus on connecting with you and connecting with my clients. Okay. I don't want to spend all my time editing a video when I could be paying somebody else, which allows us to make more because I'm free to do the thing that makes us the money. Okay. So strongly encourage you to hire an editor. Now, one of my favorite sites to go to is onlinejobs.ph, which is basically where people in the Philippines apply for a job. So you put your job posting there and people will apply to the job. Okay. And so usually they're a lot less expensive than the prices here in the US. Now, it is important to know that oftentimes people will say, well, you're taking advantage of them. No. Nope. That's not how it goes. So you post your job, you post your rate, and people see your job, see your rate, and they respond to your job based on your rate. They already tell you they're okay with your rate, right? Sometimes their rate is even lower than what you're going to offer, right? So you're not haggling with them. That's not what's happening. You're saying, this is the job. If you're interested, apply. Okay. So don't feel guilty when people are responding to the job posting that they can see everything before they actually respond to it. Okay. So just note that. All right. The fourth mistake that I see content creators making is not batch creating their content. Oh my God. Not batch creating your content. Listen, I have hundreds and hundreds of videos in my files, in my phone, in all my drives of content I have created, BRoll and all this stuff. Why do I have all that? Because I don't always want to be creating content. Okay. And I need to have just footage there. So when my team goes to create content and edit things, they're not saying, give me a video of you doing this. Give me a video of you doing that. They can go into my folder and go in there and go, Keenya typing, Keenya walking, Keenya drinking out of a cup, Keenya doing this, Keenya doing that. And if they do that, then guess what happens? If I have all that content created, then they can go in, find what they need, and they have things to edit, right? So I have hundreds and hundreds of videos that are batch created. And the reason why you want to do that as a content creator is because sometimes your editor is going to think about something on the fly, right? But if you have so much content in there, you don't have to do anything. But also, life is going to happen, right? There's gonna be times in your life where you just cannot, you just don't have it, you can't. But guess what? You don't have to, because you've got so much content that has been batch created that you don't have to. That's like if I don't film another video for the next year, I have more than enough content. Why? Because I've been batch creating for forever. And then the fifth mistake that I see content creators making is not growing a text message system or an email list. Now, I know this sounds formal and all that type of stuff, but hear me when I say the platforms are always changing. You can have 1 million followers, but that doesn't mean 1 million people are going to get notified every time you post a video. They're just not, right? And then when you tag a brand in a video, then the views go down even the more, right? But guess what? If you as a creator create a text system and everybody's giving you their phone numbers for texting, then guess what? When you launch something, you have a new brand deal or you're selling something, you send one text message and all those people get notified. Powerful. If you have an email list and you've got 500,000 people joining your email list, you write one email and you hit one button, they all get notified. Okay. It's a powerful thing. Does it feel very formal and all that? Yes, it does. But guess what? You have way more control. Okay, we have a text system, we have a chatbot system, and we have an email system plus social media. So that way, when we're launching something and doing something big, we're able to blast to our audience the way that we want to and not necessarily, gearing upon the algorithm, because the algorithm is beautiful and we love it on all the platforms, but we have no control over it. But I do have control over my email, over my text system, and over like my chatbot system. Okay, so these 5 things I highly recommend that you do if you've been saying to yourself, I want to be a content creator or I want to be more intentional, strategic content creator. But also if you're saying to yourself, listen, I could actually use some help. I would love to help you. Send me a DM on Instagram at Keenya Kelly. Send me a DM on Instagram, or we have courses here below that you can join if you want to, but I would love to be able to coach you and work with you. So subscribe to the channel. Be sure to like this video, and thanks for watching.